today. Yo, check this out here. Yup, that's right. Yup, that's right. Absolutely. The best little sports talk show you ain't heard of yet. You're going to hear us today, yo. We in the building down in
Yes.
Sports Talk, left-handed at RM Desk on Twitter. That's my Code D over there. Yada Bear, she's dressed for the occasion. It's going down tonight. We here till kickoff, man. Rock out with us. We're going to talk about, of course, the two games going on today. Jacksonville at Kansas City, and then we got the Giants at the Eagles. Definitely going to get into that full depth, hard body, and then we're going to talk about what's going on tomorrow, amongst other things. So we're going to rock out till kickoff. We on YouTube, we on Facebook, we on StreamYard. Rock out with us. If you got the notification, bang out. Smash the subscribe button down in Sports Talk is the name of the channel. All right. Yada, what's good besides the Eagles?
Ah man, this extremely hyped for the night. It's crazy that I gotta wait till 8:15 to kick off for tonight, But we hype over here about this playoff game. Starting our playoff journey tonight.
Look at this.
Against
Look at this.
these New York Giants. Third time's a charm, just the third time I was playing them. And we're gonna get them. We're gonna get these guys out of here. It's they have a really tough road with us. Last time we played. I'm not even talking about the week 17, the last game of the season because they didn't play anybody. That didn't really matter to them. But when we played them in week 14, we shut it down. Saquon wasn't running on us like he was running on the whole entire league. We basically got Daniel Jones out the game because they put Tyrod Taylor in the game to finish him off. We sacked Daniel Jones about 4 times, and then we sacked Tyrod Taylor about 4 times that game also. And it's gonna be really tough for them to withstand our defensive front. That rush coming real hard, man. We rarely blitz because we get really good pressure with our front four, especially with Josh Sweat coming back. He missed a couple from injury, but he'll be back tonight, coming off that edge. And then of course Brandon Graham on the other edge, and then our man that came back home, and he's like he has found himself again. And Hassan Reddick, coming from that linebacker position, my man got about 16, 17 sacks this season. He's been a wrecking ball.
16.
16 sacks this season. So he's been out there destroying offensive lines. He's been destroying quarterbacks, and I don't expect anything less from him today. Is to get at least a sack or two by himself.
Okay.
I can see Josh Sweat getting a sack. I can see Brandon Graham getting a sack. It's gonna be. I'm looking for Saxadelphia out here tonight.
Look at
Okay,
this. Look at this.
that's what I'm looking for. That's right. That's
OG
what
Wood, you hear this? OG Wood, you hear this?
That's what
Peace,
I'm
peace.
looking
What up,
for.
kid?
Hey, what's going on,
Saxadelphia.
OG?
All right.
That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that. I'm looking for pressure. I'm looking for them to make Daniel Jones feel extremely uncomfortable in their pocket. I want him to realize that. Wait a minute, this ain't the Vikings. Okay, this everything I had going on in Minnesota was fine and dandy, but I forgot I'm in Philadelphia. This ain't Minnesota. We make people
He
uncomfortable
said,
here.
we outside. We ain't inside. We
Well,
outside.
we outside all day. We outside since 8 a.m. Okay, the game
Right.
don't
We outside.
start. Look, the game
Right.
don't start to 8:15. That's when kickoff. We got people down there tailgating at 8 a.m. Okay, so
Yeah.
the stadium gonna be packed. It's gonna be rocking. I feel like every house in the city going to be rocking, watching this game. Every bar, man, it's lit. It's gonna be litty. Liddy City in Philly tonight.
Lady City, that's Philadelphia. It's going
That's
down.
right.
I
Let's
hear you.
go. It's going down tonight.
Um, yeah, the Giants' offensive line is got a big test tonight against that Eagles pass rush. They finished the season with what 70 sacks. You know what I mean? Which is second best in the league. Again, you mentioned Brandon Graham, Josh Sweat, the homie Hassan Reddick, who I think should have made somebody's all pro team. You know what I'm saying? But we'll talk about that later too. But I think that the Giants, for as much success as their offensive line has had with, Saquon, doing his numbers and the offensive line, keeping Daniel Jones upright somewhat. Again, expect him to get touched. The Eagles are coming on every play. Again, and like you said, when you have a secondary that doesn't necessarily have to even disguise or even threaten a blitz because the pass rush is coming, ferocious. You know what I mean? The offensive line is going to be busy every play. You know what I mean? Dealing with what's up front. The Giants allowed a pressure rate, I think, of 43%, the highest in the league. So again, um, in Week 14, the Eagles touched up Daniel Jones. For they had like 7 sacks and what 23 pressures. That's crazy. I mean, that's like every other time he snapped the ball, somebody was in his face. You know what I mean? So again, they got to get that type of pressure on him, on Daniel Jones, and keep Daniel Jones inside that little zone where he can't get outside of the numbers and kind of make some things happen. And I think that the pressure that defensive front is going to put on that offensive line is going to be crazy. It's going to be a test for Saquon to see if he can really get outside the numbers, because that defensive line and that whole defensive side of the ball for the Eagles is fast. So when
Yeah.
you have fast versus fast, you're gonna have to beat them to whatever spot you're trying to get to. Saquon has got to beat them to it. And like you said, this is not the Vikings. This is not Minnesota. They're not playing on turf. They're playing on grass. And the Eagles is planning on getting in that natural bleep. You know what I mean? So again, that offensive line is going to be under duress. And I say that respectfully. You know what I mean? But I think that if they hold up, they could, keep make some things happen. I think that what happens with the Eagles is going to be their defense is going to at least, I think, either force a couple of turnovers and turn one of those turnovers into scores, or they're going to get a pick six. One of those things is going to happen in the game.
Okay.
And I want to hear now what you feel about the Eagles and how they're going to handle their time when they have the ball against the Giants and that run defense. What the Eagles are going to do against the Giants' run defense.
I think, the theme has been all season we go as far as Jalen Hurts go. Everybody's going to be focusing on that throwing shoulder. That's what everyone's been talking about all week. For the past 2 weeks, how healthy is Jalen Hurts? I think he's going to come out there and he's going to play his game. I don't see them changing much, because why? Why would we change? We will keep doing what got us in this position. Um, with us having this bye week, it gave him an extra week of rest. It also helped Miles Sanders, who also has been, dealing with a knee injury. Also, and again in the last game he was playing with a brace on for short amount of time that he did play. He had a brace on his knee, and hopefully we can see him out there without that brace. We're gonna run the ball as much as we can, and and then we got our weapons out there. We got AJ Brown, we got Devontae Adams, a Dallas Scholar. All our guys are back healthy. And the most important piece of our offense is our offensive line. Lane Johnson is back. Okay. He had a great full week of practice. He said he feels good. And with him in not starting lineup, that gives us that added protection because he hasn't given up a sack in 2 years.
Mm.
Since every game that he started, he has not given up a sack while he's been on that field. And that's extremely amazing. Like, just think about, like, this guy has not given up a sack on that side at all in 2 years. So that Jalen has all the trust in him so that he can go out there and do what he do best. I feel like we're going to stick to the regular game plan. The Giants have a fairly decent run defense also, but I feel like my offensive line will be able to take over and show the league why, again, we are one of the best running team out there, and that we have one of the best offensive line out here who gets busy. You know,
He said we gets busy.
oh, we get
You heard
we
that?
get
It gets
busy.
busy,
We
son.
get
Word up.
busy out there. My O line gets busy.
Get
Okay.
busy. Listen, um, again, coming into this game, this particular game right here, divisional playoff game, Eagles and the Giants have two of the best rushing attacks in the league. So again, we're going to see. It's going to be strength against strength. The Eagles ranked fifth in rushing yards. I think 147.
Mm-hmm.
And the Giants are fourth, 147. Okay, the Eagles 0.6, the Giants 0.8. The Eagles first in rushing touchdowns with 32, and the Giants are fourth for 21. So again, the ground game is going to be very important, very crucial. Again, keeping out of third and long is going to be important. So
Yeah.
again, the Giants are going to have to make hay on first and second down. All right. Leave the penalties alone. Leave those in the locker room on both sides. I
Mm-hmm.
think that the Giants, they come into this game, looking at, the Eagles and their, the Jalen Hurtses of the world and the Miles Sanders and even like the Boston Scotts and those guys. They've only allowed 113.2 rushing yards a game. So again, I think the Eagles are gonna have some things, not problems, but they're going to have some things going up against that Giant defense. It's going to bend, but they're not going to break. So I think what we have in this game right now is we have two teams that are hot. The Eagles coming off the bye. What's your opinion of the Eagles now having that that rest and things of that nature? Did it allow them to get right, or will they have a few minutes of rust coming into this game tonight?
I feel like it allowed them to get healthier. A lot healthier than we were coming into the playoffs. I think you may see, a little bit of rust maybe in the first quarter, maybe in the first in their first drive, maybe, but I hopefully they'll go into this as any other game, because when you put that added pressure on yourself that this is a playoff game, you tend to now play outside of your comfort zone and make those untimely and costly mistakes that you wouldn't have made any other time. So, I think as long as they settle, their nerves, this will be Jalen Hurts' second playoff game. This is his second playoff game, and I feel like we have a lot of vets on the team that can help settle him down and settle like Devontae down, settle Miles down. Even though these guys have been around for a minute, it still help settle them down, especially Jason Kelsey, Lane Johnson, you know, uh, 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 Dallas Goddard, and even AJ Brown can help settle them because this is not his first rodeo. Also,
Right.
he been in the playoffs. He's been a number one seed before, and it didn't work out, for him on in Tennessee at number one seed.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully, he will use that as motivation here and show like, yo, hopefully he has the extra motivation to be like, I need to get over this hump, get into the next round,
No
because
doubt.
he only played one round. He was one and done.
Mm.
So
Let me say this as someone whose team is no longer participating in the tournament. I'm going to say this: the Eagles. I mean, they got off to the lovely start. The club was open; it was popping. You know what I mean? It was everything was it was love, love.
hmm
The last 3 weeks of the season, week 16, Eagles lose to the Cowboys, 40-34. Gardner Minshew started, but he don't play defense. He didn't give up 40 points. Week 17, the Eagles lose to the Giants. Look at. I
oh
mean to the Saints. I'm sorry, to the Saints. My bad.
hmm
Look at her face. She mad at me now. It's okay.
no, go ahead.
20-10, right? They lost a home game to a team that eventually finished out of the playoffs and with a losing record. Week 18, the Eagles
hmm
beat the Giants 22-16. The number one seed on the line. How did it get there? I'm going to allow you to tell me that. The Eagles barely beat a Giants team that was rested almost everybody. So again, I'm saying to you,
Oh,
you
so
know,
we're going there.
yeah,
Okay.
no, I'm
Okay.
just saying,
No, no,
I'm
no,
just,
no, no. I hear you. And when you say that we barely beat a Giants team,
that
you
was
gotta put it.
resting
You
almost
gotta
all they
put it.
started.
Yeah, I get that, but you gotta look at it this way. What we did was make sure that we was ahead, and then we was in cruise control for the rest of the game. It was no need for us to
Oh,
go
cruise
all out
control. All right. Okay.
because, as I stated in previous weeks, that I
Uh-huh.
felt as though that we was going to see the Giants in the
Yeah,
playoffs.
yeah. Right, you said that.
Okay, so why show them and everyone else what what we have to do, what we have to offer? It's still all about strategy and strategic moves here.
Mm-hmm.
We are playing chess, not checkers.
Got you.
So we
I
knew
mean,
we knew as long as we was up that we would just maintain the lead and just cruise it on out. We just wanted to get out the game without anybody else getting hurt and being able to secure that number one seed, because we needed that number one seed just to have that extra week off. That's basically all it was, for us to have that extra week off. And
mhm.
we lost to the Cowboys. Yeah, we gave up 40 points. All right.
Yeah. All
That's
right.
that's
All
nice.
right.
But again, just like how all these Cowboys fans stated to me, oh, well, you guys didn't beat Dak. Okay, that's true. Y'all didn't beat Jalen. The same thing can be said. You know, um, we lost. Yeah, we lost to the Saints. I didn't expect us to go undefeated this season. I figured we'll lose some games, especially when Jalen went down. I was like, all right, so could we beat the Saints without Jalen? Maybe, but again, we have a backup out there who's, as everybody finally seen, is a backup, and that's why he's a backup.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so as I stated the whole season, our goal is not to be undefeated. Our goal is to win the championship. So we already accomplished one goal, and that was winning the NFC East. Now the next goal is to win this playoff game today and to go into the championship round next week. One game at a time, one step at a time.
I hear that. That's dope right there. But again, I'm gonna advocate for the other side.
I get it. I
By the
got
time
you.
by the time this game kicks off, though, Jalen Hurts only played one game in the last month, right?
Yeah.
And I say that just to say that again, the extra week may just give him right, as like you said, healthy, which is important. Get the whole team right, healthy, which is important.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that for me, if I'm the Eagles right now, I'm like, so what?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I'm the Eagles, I'm like, so what? I played bad the last 3 weeks of the season. My quarterback is back, like we needed him to be. Right? We got
Mm-hmm.
on the defense we got healthier. Okay,
Exactly.
so we're right where we need to be. You know what I mean? And
Exactly.
again, anybody, the other teams in the NFC would kill to have the number one seed.
Yeah.
And if they say they don't, they're lying.
Yeah. Because
So,
in that last week, Dallas and San Francisco was out there playing their hardest,
so again,
hoping.
the advantage is to the Eagles, and I think that what they're going to do is they're going to show up. You know what I mean? They're going to have the momentum of the crowd going crazy, the expectations of the crowd. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's an NFC East divisional opponent. You're seeing them for the third time, and then you go into that. Well, teams don't beat each other 3 times in a row, and all of this. It's going to be a good game. I'm expecting to see a good game.
Me
I'm
too.
expecting to go down to the wire. I don't know. I think that the Eagles, are going to do what they do. It may be close for a little while, but I think a turnover is going to factor into this one. Something's going to happen late. You know what I mean? A bad penalty. I'm expecting the officials to play a part, even though I shouldn't say that. I'm expecting the officials to have some kind of impact on this game, for real, for real. So
I
this is
mean,
where we at.
don't it
Go
seem
ahead.
like don't it seem like the officials like to involve themselves more in like primetime games? It's always
Yeah,
like a,
'cause that's what the most eyes are watching. Absolutely.
yeah, it's like a missed call or a questionable call, during most primetime games. I'm just hoping that the Eagles don't put themselves in a position that a call like that could ruin the game. You know, can change the outcome of the game. I don't want
Hmm.
to ever have the game in the ref's hands.
Right.
I want it to be clear as day that you know we have a comfortable lead and we can just cruise in the last quarter.
Hmm.
But like we said,
Yeah.
at
I mean,
any given Sunday, right? I mean, it's a
yep.
Saturday,
Absolutely.
any given
Any given Sunday, Saturday, Thursday,
Thursday,
Monday.
Monday.
I was saying, but
Yeah.
yeah, man, we in the building, man, down in Sports Talk, man. We going up to kickoff. All right, we snuck one in on you. All right, left-handed at RM Desk in the building. Y'all the Bears in the house, holding the Eagles down and all of that. Um, what's the vibe like on the block? Where you at in Philly, deep in the heart of that, that situation right there. What are you talking about in Philly Eagle land right now?
No, everyone's just hoping they're hoping for a blowout. I'm hearing a lot of it's always nervous. Like I'll tell you the truth here. Me personally, before any Eagles game, I'm always nervous before the game. I'm always nervous. I'm always looking, at the other team with the side eye. So, a lot of people are confident, but we got a couple of people out there who's nervous because, like we always said, we never know what's going to happen on that field. Um, the city is buzzing. Like I said, the city is hype. Like I said earlier, you got people tailgating already, so it's going to be lit down South Philly. South Philly already lit. You
Mm.
know, everybody going to be at Xfinity Live down there. The link is
They
going to be
haven't they haven't begun to grease the light poles yet, have they?
the light poles stay greased.
It ain't good for
Look,
greasing the light poles, my G.
listen, it don't
Word
even
up.
matter. It don't even matter on light poles grease. They still find a way to get up
It's
there.
to get up there, right?
They
No
still
doubt,
find a
no
way.
doubt.
I don't know what the fascination of climbing the light pole, is
With
or
all
where
that
it,
electricity up there.
yeah, like where it begun, who started it, but
Right.
we're gonna keep it going. Philly go hard, and when
I
we
know
out in
that's
the
right.
season and we
Absolutely.
celebrating,
Absolutely.
a
Absolutely.
couple people gonna get up on them poles.
It's a good time to be in Philly right now, and especially to be an Eagles fan. Again, what's your assessment of Nick Sirianni? What is this, a second year?
Second year,
What's your
um,
assessment of him?
I was I was very skeptical of him last season because he was new, young. Um, he had a lot of ideas that just wasn't coming to life on the field, and it could
Mm,
have been because Jalen wasn't in the right mindset and also the right place physically to make those type of plays that he wanted. I feel like he grew a lot as a coach. He he seen the development that Jalen, was doing in the off season, and he basically built his offense around Jalen strengths, which is the running game with Jalen Hurts. The running with him opened up the passing, and I seen a lot more creativity coming out of him. And our offensive coordinator, I see our defense grow a lot more.
mm-hmm.
Um, a front, getting more pressure without having to blitz. Um, I also see that we have brought in the right personnel for
Right.
our defense. That's really key.
Mm-hmm.
You can have a really good system, but not the right players that fit the system.
Right.
And a big chunk of that was at the linebacker position where we didn't have those linebackers that were speedy, that could run sideline to sideline, and who can also make tackles
Right.
and cover the running back coming out the backfield. Now we have that, because they're White
Mm-hmm.
has been playing really good. TJ Edwards has been playing extremely well, and of course, Hassan Reddick has been amazing this season. Um, Also, our secondary has been really good. How we making that trade with with the Saints of all teams to bring in CJ Gardner at the safety spot. A spot that we have been struggling with.
Mm-hmm.
Also having Slay back there, and then bringing in James Bradbury for this season was huge. I never expect to be able to get another corner of his skill set to play on the other side of Slay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then to also have Avante Maddox, who who was really key to our defense. Who's still out with the injury. He's going to be missed out there, but I still feel I feel very happy with my team. I feel real good about the coaching. Um, I know it's going to be really tough to keep everyone together on the coaching staff, but you know how it goes. Once a team starts, lighting it up, everybody want to pull from their coaching tree, and
Right.
Jonathan Gannon, his name been thrown around. Sean, his name been thrown around about getting interviews for head coaching jobs. I hope somehow, some way, we can keep the band together to see what else we can do. But if they choose to venture out to be head coaches, more power to them. But I'm hoping that we can keep our coaching staff together. You know, how do you rate Coach Sirianni this season?
Myself, I think it was he was learning on the job last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, like you said. everybody had to get better. They had to step their game up from year one to year two. I think everybody did that across the board. Especially, Nick Sirianni, absolutely, because he would have been the fall guy if it wouldn't have worked out. So he definitely has to get his props. And I don't know. I mean, I would hope and think that he would get some consideration outside for coach of the year. Why not? You know what I mean? He did some works with some things too, man. He kept it together. Even though towards the end of the season it kind of got a rough, but at the end of the season that's what champions do. They stick it out. So again, I think that if I'm grading him, wow, definitely he would get, like, to me, he'd get an A minus. And the only reason with that is because, again, they fell upon hard times and a couple of decisions might have been made. But again, they did what they needed to do to upgrade the roster all the way around. The work that he's done, and like you said, his coaches, they get credit too as well. Absolutely. He's going to have to do a hell of a job to keep, everybody around. Because again, everybody wants to, graduate and move up and get their own thing going on. So again, the continuity is going to be key. But to answer your question, I think I give him an A minus. I think he did an excellent job. You know what I mean? How's that going to translate in playoff situations? That's yet to be determined. You know what I mean? Because now it's his turn. You know what I mean? To take to try to get a statue outside of Lincoln Trophy.
He gotta get his statue next, right?
He got to get his statue
next.
But absolutely. So again, I think that this is going to be one of those games that everybody's going to be talking about tomorrow. You know what I mean? Eagles win. They're going to be talking about it tomorrow to next week. Get ready for the NFC Championship game, which will be at the Link. So for me, game starts at what, 8:15 kickoff, something around that time. So we'll see. Like, we're going to talk after the game too, because I have to get the joy and the hoo-ha and the jumping around and the see I told you, and we going to the Super Bowl and all of this stuff. We're going to chop it up tonight too after the game. We'll see what it is. But I think that again, this is one of those matchups, man. You can't ask for more. The Giants and the Eagles, like, the only thing that makes this thing would have made it even, a little bit more spicier for me. And I'm on the outside looking in. You know what I mean? Is if they would have split the season series. That's the only thing, Yada. You know what I mean? That's to me, because the Eagles won both games. Whoop-de-woo. The second game was closer than the first. Whoop-de-woo. But this is the one that counts.
Yeah.
You dig? So I think that again, it's you got a Philly representative right here in the building, so she's gonna let you know exactly what it is, what the flavor is, and again, we expect anything less? No. I still haven't made my pick yet, and we're gonna get to that. I'm putting up everything now as we speak, so it's live, man. We in the building doing what we do. Sonny Cruz, he's gonna get a bye in regards to the game picks. Sonny Cruz he's going to get a bye, and Yada can't stand that because she thinks Sonny Cruz has a direct line to the
NFL.
Yeah, to the NFL. So Sonny Cruz with 5-1 wild card weekend. All right, the ubiquitous Yada Bear over there, 4-2. You know what I mean? We had our playoff matchup. We each won 4 games. So we finished in a tie. You know what I mean? I guess that's par for the course because, we had 2 ties in the NFL this year. So Slate defeated Kia 4-3. So it's going to be Yada and Kia and myself and Slate in the divisional matchup. Slate, if you out there, my guy, I got you. Get your picks in, my dude. Sean decided to. Sean Strong, shout out to you, my guy. Sean Strong, he decided to go into the transfer portal for Wild Card Weekend. He decided to go into the transfer portal for wild card weekend, and he didn't get his picks in. But salute to you, my guy, and thank you for rocking with us, man, all season
Yeah.
long, man. You rocked out, man. I appreciate you. Absolutely. Um, we were having a discussion behind the scenes in the green room, as we do before the show jumps on. Um, Last night, a particular event happened, and it's flowing with the topic, right? We're talking football, and this is the football day and stuff like that. We're talking about a Hall of Famer, football player, right? Was involved in a little, how we say, it wasn't a brouhaha.
Um,
It wasn't a brouhaha.
I mean, it was a strongly worded criticism of someone's game.
Yeah, you know what I
You know,
mean. And when oil and water meet at the crypto.com arena, some things about to explode. So you had the Memphis Grizzlies coming in there, one of the hottest teams in the league. You know about John Morant, you know the whole deal.
mm-hmm.
Los Angeles Lakers, LeBron, they're trying to do their thing. No AD, but they're still trying to be competitive, and I respect that about them. You know what I mean? Last night, man, it was a nice situation. Last night I was watching it. Overtime, which really I don't know if it really should have went to overtime, but here we go. But that's not even the point why we're talking about this. I'm gonna let Yada give you the play-by-play of the throwdown at the showdown, which became a no down.
So I mean, basically, what happened is, you have a guy in the stands by the name of Shannon Sharp, who's you know we all know
Skip,
who Shannon Sharp,
skip,
we all
skip,
know who Shannon is,
skip,
two-time Super Bowl champion,
skip.
NFL Hall of Famer, one of the top um, receiving tight ends to ever, play the game.
Absolutely.
Uh, he's also has a hit sports show with Skip Bayless on FS1 called Undisputed. He also has an amazing podcast called what is it, the Shay Shay Room, some Club Shay Shay, which is
Mm-hmm.
it is extremely good. Um, he made a let's just say constructed criticism of Dylan Brooks' game. He basically said, "Hey, you can't guard LeBron." Now, someone screams that out on the court. It's like, okay, most people were shrug their shoulders off, or don't really give it any time of day. But Dylan Brooks, he caught offense to what Shannon had said to him, and he probably caught offense to it because it's true. I mean, we're talking about LeBron James here. Is very few people in the world who plays basketball professionally can guard this guy truly one on one. So after that was said, there were some words back and forth, and then Steven Adams, who liked to portray himself as like this tough guy, he's the toughness of the Memphis Grizzlies, walk over to confront Shannon Sharp like Shannon was going to back down, like he's some punk. Then Shannon had let him know, like, bro, I'm not afraid of you. Like, what are you coming over here to do? Like, Steven Adams is like approaching him like he's ready to fight Shannon Sharp. Instead of focusing on the game, you looking to fight Shannon Sharp. And then, Ja came over and said something. And then, anytime Ja get into any type of confrontation on the court, his dad is somewhere hovering around, putting his 2 cents in. And that's what happened. So then the focus have turned to Shannon Sharp versus T. Morant, which is John Morant father. They had some words, but it wasn't nothing, to be all about, like a
Right,
big.
right, 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 right.
It was It was
You know,
friendly
being all
words. At
dramatic.
the end of the day, they dab each other up, gave each other a
Uh-huh.
hug, and it was all love. But like, what's so crazy about this situation is that just because someone has some type of criticism towards your game, you get your panties all in a bunch.
Uh-oh.
He got like Dylan Brooks got in his feelings, and as soon as that whole thing died down, what did LeBron James do next? He took the ball from out of bounds and he drove down the court and he dunked on Jared Jackson. He dunked right on him in the most disrespectful way ever. And where were you at, Dylan? Were you on the court, Dylan? Did you stop him, Dylan?
Y'all are
No.
talking greasy,
Everybody,
y'all. Y'all
everybody
are
moved
talking
out
greasy.
the way. Everybody moved
Pay
out the
attention.
way because
Pay
LeBron came
attention.
in like a freight train and took care of business. And Dylan Brooks was nowhere to be found because what can't you do, Dylan Brooks? You can't guard LeBron James. At the end of the day, what Shannon said was true. Just get out your feelings, man. Like just play your game. It wasn't like he called you a bum. It wasn't like he said you had no game. Only thing he said was, "Can't guard LeBron, man. You can't guard him." That's like someone being mad saying, "Oh, you can't guard Mike. You can't guard Kobe. What are you gonna do with Shaq? What are you gonna
Mm.
do with Shaq backing you down? And then you gonna get mad at me for saying that?" And then not only did he get mad, he took it a step further after the game and through the ultimate disrespect to Shannon Sharp, just call him a blogger. What?
Mm.
This man is in the Hall of Fame, NFL Hall of
Mm-hmm.
Fame. He got two championship rings from two different teams, and you're gonna call him a blogger? He's on a cable network TV show, sports show that runs every day, 5 days a week. He's not a blogger. Yes, he has a blog and it's a fantastic one. He has a fantastic one. But for you to just turn around and just call him a blogger like he's not that like he's not so much more than that is
Mm-hmm.
extremely disrespectful. And as we was talking, behind the scenes, I was saying like this is how it is now. Like with these younger guys, like it's so much disrespect just because somebody said something that you don't like.
Right.
So now you got to take it to a whole disrespectful level. He didn't disrespect
Mm-hmm.
him at all. He just stated the obvious that we all have eyes. We all watching the same game. We see that you can't guard LeBron.
Right.
But then you're gonna go off and call him said he's a regular person. He made some type of comment like, oh, so we just have like regular people. Like he should have got kicked out and not be able to come back in because we shouldn't have like
Like
regular.
Charles Oakley is it?
Yeah, like we can't have regular people, talking. Like what?
Right.
Like what are you talking about? That's sports. In the arena you go into, you have people trash talking the players, each other,
Right.
their own team,
Right.
talking to the refs.
The old team. That's right.
Okay,
That's
talking to
right.
the concession people. Like we
Right.
trash talk everybody in
Mm-hmm.
every sport. That's what happens. So if you have paper thin skin, then maybe you're in the wrong profession because
Mm.
everybody's going to talk. You can't just point and choose who can't say anything, who can't criticize you. I mean,
Right.
if anybody's going to criticize you on the sideline, I see Shannon Sharp saying something. Hey, he got every right to say he has the credentials to criticize you. He do this every day, and it wasn't like I said, it wasn't like he said Dylan Brooks is terrible.
That's the
Not
point.
he said
Right.
Dylan
That's
Brooks is
right.
a
That's the
bum.
point. Right.
He didn't disrespect him at all.
He didn't
Only
talk
thing he
about his
did was
moms.
give.
He didn't say nothing greasy, nothing slick at all.
Only thing
But
he said was, "You can't guard LeBron." And now we got this whole
this
dust
whole
up on the
yeah.
sideline. Steven Adams running over like he want to fight Shannon Sharp. Like, come on now.
Right.
Come on now. It's
Um, yeah, I mean, again, to add on to your point, I think that again today's athlete is definitely a whole lot more sensitive, and you can take it for what it's worth. Again, cats would back in the day or whatever, you say something slick, it would be regarded as slick, right?
yeah.
So they would see you later on, and y'all would discuss it. Nowadays, a compliment. It has to be accompanied by "you're great, you're fantastic, you're spectacular, you're the best I ever seen in my life and this history." You know what I mean? All of that fluffer nutter when there's no substance behind it.
Mm-hmm.
So when somebody speaks in a factual light, this wasn't something he was making up or he was mad at Dylan Brooks. No, you can't D LeBron. Straight like that. So he didn't say it in a way where that makes you any less of a basketball player or the upcoming star that you want to be. You just can't D LeBron. That's it. And
Mm-hmm.
out of everything that you've done, Dylan Brooks, the team that you're on, Dylan Brooks, you took that as a slight to your whole existence. Come on, son. Right?
Yeah.
So that says a lot about a lot of these, today's athletes. Yep. And I'm putting all y'all under umbrella because you can't say nothing bad about these dudes. Even if
Nope.
it's the truth, even if it's constructive. If they
Yep.
perceive it to be negative,
Oh,
oh,
they
they go
ignore you.
let you have it, yo. Like,
Yeah.
so again, I think that, it was much ado about nothing, you know what I'm saying? But again, I wonder if he would have went, if Stephen A. Smith would have, said that, would he have went at him like that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Right.
I don't think Stephen A. Smith would have clapped back. I think Stephen A. Smith would have been looking for security. But Shannon Sharp, from what I see, he was with the monkey ish. He was with it.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But they dapped it up like men should. You know what I mean? They had to let it off. Again, this is what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No, you say something slick about me, I'm gonna say something slick about you. And if worse gets to worse, if the water gets too hot in the kitchen, then we gonna let's make it do what it do,
Mm-hmm.
public or not. You know what I'm saying? So again, that's what that is. Um, but I think that at the end of the day they got it together. But I don't think this is the last you heard of that. You know what I mean? Because
I
now they got
know. No.
so
I'm pretty
not the
sure
last.
Shannon's gonna talk about it on Monday.
Absolutely. You know what I'm saying?
They're gonna
Um,
bring it up Monday.
we in the building, man. This is, us. We rocking out, man. I'm left-handed right here. Yada Bear over there in the building, getting she's pre-gaming, getting ready for the night, and she's highly upset that she has to wait another 5 hours before kickoff. You know
I
what I
know, but
mean?
hey, at least I got something to watch. We got the Jags and the Chiefs.
Absolutely, absolutely. You see,
Going to start
you
out.
see what we did there. You see what we did there. That's why you should mess with us. You see what we did there. Go ahead, Chiefs the Jags. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, at least we have that to watch. The pre-game before the real game. But I'm excited to see this game
You
also.
talking real greasy. I like that.
But I'm excited to see this game too. Dougie P versus Andy Reid. We all know Andy Reid's history after a bye week, regular season and in the playoffs. He's almost undefeated, unbeatable after, a bye week. But we have seen the Chiefs have this have this number one spot and
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's right.
lose, you know, as we saw just a season ago, Cincinnati went in there and beat them at Arrowhead, So they are beatable, it can happen. And that's why me, myself, have picked the Jags
Uh-oh.
to win this game. And not only, you know, for that reason, also, Doug got history with the Chiefs, he was underneath the Andy Reid umbrella. He he coached, Patrick Mahomes while he was there for a brief a brief moment. He was there for a year with Pat when Pat first got drafted, and was behind Alex Smith.
Mm-hmm.
So he knew what type of player Patrick Mahomes was. And the way Doug coach, he coaches, some people may say reckless. I say aggressive. I love it, because if it's 4th and 3, he's gonna go for it. 4th and 4, he's gonna go for it. So he always keeps you on your toes. You never know. And I'm liking what I'm seeing from Trevor Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that people are not really paying attention with the Chiefs is that they secondary are all rookies. And as I'm looking at the pre-show right now on NFL Network, it is snowing.
Uh-oh.
It's like that wet snow
Mm-hmm.
in Kansas City. So throwing the ball maybe a little tricky today. The field's going to be extremely wet, so this may come down to a running game,
Right.
a down and dirty game. And I mean, the Jags running back, he's a stud. He's a young guy. He runs hard.
Travis Etienne.
Yes, Travis. Yeah, there you go. I couldn't think of his name. Yes, Travis. He runs hard. Um, it's hard to call it, but I just have a feeling that Doug may be able to pull this out. I have a feeling about it. And one thing that Doug love is a versatile running back and a tight end who can catch. And they have those two in Jacksonville,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Um So it's going to be interesting, and it's always interesting to see a team that Jimmy plays in warm weather go to these type of situations where it is like that wet snow. It is cold. How much that will affect their game? Them going out there, running their routes. You got Christian Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
He came from Arizona to Jacksonville, so he been in two warm weather spots. Now this is the biggest game of your life, playing in some nasty weather.
Mm.
But I'm still gonna
Playoff
go with
weather.
Jacksonville. Yeah, yeah. This is what we were talking about. This is the playoff weather that we've been looking for, and I'm glad that we're seeing it in Kansas City. So what you think about this game? What
Well,
do you think?
if it goes the way the NFL wants it, you won't be seeing it in Atlanta next week either. But I'm saying this game, Jacksonville has the puncher's chance. I think, and when they have the ball, I think that Trevor Lawrence is going to have to, especially now the weather has become a factor now. So ball control, they're
Yes.
going to have to keep Mahomes and them off the field.
Yes.
I think that he's going to have to definitely have a better first half than he had against the Chargers last week. Um,
Maybe just
I don't
one
think he's going to
pick.
throw 4 interceptions. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe
But I
maybe just
think,
one.
yeah, maybe one. I mean, maybe those rookies that get at him. But I think that he's going to have to throw the ball to the middle of the field. Like when you talk about the middle of the field, you talk about Evan Ingram, you talk about Christian Kirk, and he had over 75% of his snaps was in the slot. So I
Hmm.
think you got to watch out for that. Zay Jones and Marvin Jones as well. Those guys are
Yes.
going to be on the perimeter, and like you said, those rookies in that Kansas City secondary are going to get tested. I
Hmm.
think that was it Trent McDuffie and what's the other kid, Jalen Watson.
Yes.
I think Trevor Lawrence is going to have his way because I think he enjoys throwing the ball over the middle. That's his thing. And he got the receivers that can, that could do that. And Evan Ingram going up against those linebackers, keeping them busy
Yeah.
again. But I don't think, again, like you just said, throwing the ball is not going to be at a premium. I think they're going to have to keep the Kansas City secondary and defense honest. by letting a couple go deep, keep them honest. But I think, like you said, the ground game is going to be important. That's where Travis Etienne comes into play. Playing conservative, I think that's going to be where we're going to see Doug P at. What if they get the lead, Yada? It's 14-10. 7 minutes left. Jacksonville has the ball on the Kansas City side of the field. Is Dougie going to play against the clock, play with the clock, play 3 yards in a cloud of dust? How is he going to move when you have that lead late in the game on the road? What's on the line? Like you know what I mean? So again, It's going to be interesting to see how Doug Peterson plays that. Keep it close. The closer Jacksonville keeps the game, the longer it's going to be a chance for them to make something happen. The defense can make a play. And remember, and I know you do, Kansas City, even at home in the playoffs, is not really, and you brought that up, has not really been that, that lock.
Yeah.
They end up winning, but man, listen.
Look.
So I think if Jacksonville gets to the position where they get an interception early and they recover a fumble early, they got to turn it into 7. 3 is not going to work.
Yeah, like you said, we're seeing this play before last year where the Chiefs, they were steamrolling the Bengals in the first half. It was like it was like what, 21-3 or something like that. It was either 17 or 21-3 in the first half. Matter of fact, it was 24-3 in the first half. Second half it was 21-3. Second half came, the Bengals scored.
It was like 20. They switched uniforms.
Yeah, it was like, wow. It was like, wait a minute, so like what just happened? And then like the Bengals tied it up and they went to overtime, and the Bengals they kicked that field goal and took them to the Super Bowl. So it's never a lock for them, at home. We have seen it. We have seen Patrick Mahomes look vulnerable at times.
Right.
It's going to be a tough battle. And the fact that the weather is now playing the factor, I'm loving it even more. I'm just excited to see what Andy Reid is going to do. We have AJ said Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne fumbles all the time. Lawrence lead the league in fumble. I mean, yeah.
And that's going to be, shout out to AJ, salute. That's going to be important, and I think now even more where you're going to have a wet football.
Yeah, a wet ground.
What I mean? Yeah, the track is going to be wet. So again, like you said, AJ, man, those guys have that. Is it going to be in the back of their head? It could be. You know what I mean? And will one of them or somebody fumble the ball one time in this game? Absolutely. I think it's going to be. Yep. I think absolutely.
I mean, absolutely. Last week we have 4 picks. We can have 4 fumbles.
You have 4 fumbles. Absolutely. So again, but when Kansas City does have the ball, I think that, these two teams played a few weeks ago. Patrick Mahomes lit Jacksonville up 26-35 for 331, 4 TDs and 1 INTO. And I think he also added 7 rushing attempts on the ground for like about 39 yards. So again, I think that he was lighting Jacksonville up. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars, their reputation precedes them. They're 32nd in the league against throws to the outside, like the tight end. So Travis Kelce is expecting to get his numbers up.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I think that again, the weather is kind of tempered that down a little bit. You know what I mean? It's going to be about ball control. What happens on third down? If somebody can make a big play, if somebody can get a turnover, win the turnover battle. And again, don't get tight at the end if Jacksonville's winning. I remember one championship game a few years back. This was the Jalen Ramsey era. They was beating New England in the fourth quarter. You know what I mean? Like I know Jacksonville ain't going to the Super Bowl. Oh man! But again, this story right here would write itself if Jacksonville could take it down to the wire, and if they can somehow win. Those Jacksonville Jaguar fans will be popping up like De La Soul records. You know what I mean? Out of nowhere. You know what I mean? So again, I think Kansas City, they're at home, so I got to give them the advantage. But hey, man, listen, anything can happen. Ask Justin Herbert. They was up 27-0.
Yeah.
Like
with 4 picks.
Like with 4 picks.
Yeah.
At home.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was about to be little Duval was about to go crazy.
Yeah, and
you know what I'm saying? So again, nothing is outside the perimeter and the range of happening in these NFL playoffs. I wanted to talk about something before we talk about what's going on tomorrow. I know you're gonna probably be mad, and people gonna be mad at me, man. But I'm late to the party. I'm sorry, Yada. I'm sorry. Snowfall.
Oh,
why did you tell me about Snowfall, yo?
Yeah, I told you about Snowfall. When we was talking about the TV show, I told Snowfall is all that.
Yo, I'm watching it from the beginning. I'm like, all right. I'm like, people was telling me Snowfall, this and that, and the third. I was like, whatever. Because I'm like, I'm from The Wire. So ain't nothing messing with The Wire, right? And so I come from that, The Wire, The Shield, you know what I mean? That type of stuff. So I'm like, Snowfall, I tried to peep it a little bit. I was like, yo.
Exactly. Yo. You know.
I watched it from the beginning. Like the first episode, because that's how I gotta get. I can't watch it, jump in the middle. So I'm watching it. Like, this is gonna be all right. And I'm watching it where, when they took the lady set Franklin up. He got beat up outside when she gave him the second joint. Yeah. He got beat up outside and they took it. So he went to Franklin and his man went to these other dudes and was like, "Yo, they took something from us. Help us get it back." So when they had homie in the house tied up. And dude had hit him with the joint in the knees, right? And then when he when he dragged homie in the room, I already knew what it was.
You already knew what it was, yeah.
I already knew what it was. It wasn't even about the bread no more because they was in there looking for the money. He was in.
Yeah, he was in there looking for something else.
But yo. This I like it. I'm gonna get into it. That and Top Boy.
Oh, like Top Boy Top Boy is
so I'm late to the party, yo. I'm sorry. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta watch.
Yo, I was watching it, and Snowfall is banging. Top Boy is banging. And I feel kind of like bad now that I'm late to the party, man. But yo, I was. You know what I mean? And it comes from that LA, you know what I mean? That perspective and stuff like that. So that's different. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at these cats outside playing and doing the normal neighborhood stuff in the hood with all these palm trees. I'm like,
exactly. It's
a different, you know what I mean?
And then they're doing all this hood stuff, but then you look at the surroundings, you got the sun, it's high, you got
absolutely.
Like,
absolutely.
What is happening?
What is this? And so I peeped the time frame too. So I'm going back in my mind, like what I was doing back in, like 86 or whatever. Like, yo, it was I relate on a whole bunch of levels. You know what I mean? But they was just doing it like that on the West Coast though. But I definitely relate. You know what I mean? But again, I was late to the party. You know what I mean? My humble, sincerest apologies. I won't be late to the party no more. Snowfall is the joint. Again, but here's the thing. If I'm late to the party on Snowfall, and I can't even talk to you about it because you already know what it is. Nobody besides this one over here, nobody besides this one over here can talk to me about Deadwood.
Oh, I love Deadwood.
Deadwood is that's all I'm saying. Deadwood is just absolutely Deadwood is just as gangster as any of them shows.
Yeah,
Any of them.
I would definitely
You,
suggest for
mm-hmm,
people to watch
mm-hmm.
Deadwood. It's a series
Yes.
that was on HBO back in the day that it didn't really get that much love. It
Mm.
didn't get too much shine because it's Western. People
The
like, I
time,
don't,
yeah, the time,
yeah, I
yeah,
don't
right,
want to
right,
see
right. The
them
time period,
cowboys and
right,
stuff like that. But
right.
I'm like, nah, this
Nah,
got a
son.
whole different vibe to it. It's
Yep.
not like that whole cowboys Indian type of stuff.
Nah.
Nah, this is gangster.
Yep,
This is
and
some
that's how I would
gangster.
describe it to people. I would
Hmm.
describe it to people like it's the Sopranos, it's Oz, it's all that, but it's set in the old West.
Yeah.
It's set in the old West, and it's like when this is when you first say how everything got created and the start of everything. When they had the
Hmm.
Pony Express with the mail and all that stuff, and how people came to settle. And the shit is good. I love Deadwood,
Yeah,
yo.
it's good.
And people were
I
like, Deadwood,
definitely,
you watch it? Hell
yeah,
yeah. Are you
yeah,
stupid? I watched
yeah.
Deadwood, yo. And again, if you haven't watched it or thought about checking it out, check it out. Absolutely. It's
I would definitely,
absolutely
yes, I would definitely,
absolutely.
definitely
Absolutely.
suggest that.
Who is your favorite character on Deadwood?
Damn, I can't even think of their names right now.
Mm.
Hold on, hold up, hold up,
Yo,
hold
mine's
up.
was, I was gonna say Sweargin, but that's too easy.
No,
Sweargin is too easy, right? My favorite character on there was well, they killed Wild Bill. They killed him off early.
he
You know
was
what I'm
done
saying? They killed
fast.
Wild Bill Hickok off early. Um, Mr. Wu. Mr. Wu is my man. I like when Mr. Wu show up is on and popping. And,
Yeah,
and my favorite scene, the all-time classic scene in Deadwood, yo. That's an all-time classic scene in whatever for me because it was funny. It was racist as hell. You know what I mean? But it was funny at the same time. But that's how they got down back then. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
especially on the railroad roads, man.
Yeah. That's how they got down back then. But yeah, absolutely, Deadwood is that joint right there.
I mean, yeah,
Go
I mean,
ahead.
even though like you said, like I would have been like the obvious choice, but it's because he was so good. Like his
Yeah,
character,
yo,
it was
absolutely
like
legend.
he it was
Yes,
it, like you just have to watch it to
right.
understand like the things that this guy did. It was just like what. And
Hmm.
he was real gangster with it too. It was
Yeah,
like
absolutely. That was the beginning of that because he had the saloon, he had it on lock. Then the other dude, they
yeah.
moved across the street. They had the wine, they had the games and stuff like that. Then they had the
Yeah.
women. So he had his thing, and he was infringing on Al's territory. For Al Swearengin wasn't having it.
Al said, I got Al
Al
said,
said
nah,
no, and then he had his
no.
man. You know what I mean? His man. Oh, I forgot his man's name. Was it Dan? I think his man's name was Dan. And he would handle all the work and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And you had the people
yeah.
there clean up the. Oh
Yep.
man, it was
It was.
crazy.
It was Dan it was his last name like Dorothy or something like yeah, it was Dan because Dan went over there. Dan was his he was the muscle.
Yeah, he was his henchman. He was,
Yeah, yeah. If you
he
seen
was his henchman,
Dan,
and stuff, bro.
you saw Dan
Yeah,
come
so
over,
yeah,
it was
man. So
like
absolutely, that was one of my must watches too. I never missed the episode of Deadwood. Never. I was mad when they took it off. And they put that little movie back on or whatever. Like 2 years
yeah,
after they took it off, they had the little movie. But yeah,
they
so
they tried.
absolutely. That's the yeah. We talk about all types of stuff. So we back in the building, man. Down in Sports Talk, NFL Divisional playoffs. To say some say this is the best football weekend of the year. Um,
Yes.
yeah, I mean, so you got 4 games. You got 2 today. We talked about Kansas City and Jacksonville get ready to pop off. We talked about
Yeah.
the Eagles and the Giants. That's Yada's thing right there. She got her squad popping off. She's waiting patiently. You know what I mean? Got the champagne popping off, everything ready to pop
not,
off and
not,
stuff
not,
like
not,
that.
not yet. Not yet.
Not
We got
yet.
one
Not
first.
yet. Not yet. All right.
Yeah.
So tomorrow,
Yes.
yes, tomorrow we got two big ones. Two big games that would hold it down on any Sunday night, Monday
Yes.
night, Thursday night. You know what I mean? Um, we got
Yeah.
the Cincinnati Bengals and the Buffalo Bills
The rematch.
rematch. To be continued. Shout out to DeMar Hamlin. All right.
Yes.
Shout out to the city of Buffalo. Shout out to the Buffalo Bills organization. Shout out to the Cincinnati Bengals organization. Word
Yes.
up. Um, Tomorrow's going to be, one of those games, highly anticipated, very,
Very
very, very,
emotional.
50-50, however you want to look at it. You could nitpick and choose how you want to see it. It's in Buffalo. All right. And then we got the historical matchup. The matchup that used to be, you could mark it down, right? Middle of January, the Cowboys and the 49ers. And this goes back to the 70s, right? They're going to meet tomorrow once again in another chapter of their playoff history. Everybody remembers Dwight
Yes.
Clark. You know what I mean? They remember, certain situations with the Cowboys and the 49ers. What people seem to forget, and I know I told Malcolm I was going to bring this up, that the Cowboys could have came back and won that game. If Eric Wright, remember, I think Danny White hit Drew Pearson in a slant. Drew Pearson was about to break for a touchdown. This was after the Dwight Clark catch.
Mm-hmm.
And Eric Wright caught him and saved the touchdown. This was after Dwight Clark, right?
See, everybody forgets what happened after the White Clark.
Yeah. So again, you get the Cowboys and the 49ers. Remember Deion playing 1 year for the Cowboys, and then next year he played for the 49ers. Oh, this is Charles Haley. You know what I'm saying? So it's Terrell Owens. It's the whole thing with this. So tomorrow in San Francisco is going down once again. What's your thoughts in regards to both of those matchups? Cincinnati and Buffalo, and the Cowboys going up against the Niners.
With this Buffalo Cincinnati game, it's like we said, it's a continuation from the last game. Emotion should be extremely high on both sides of the field.
Right.
A lot of animosity I feel like is coming from the Bengals side, because they feel disrespected, as they should, by the NFL.
Right.
How
Shout out to Joe Mixon. Absolutely.
Yeah,
That's right.
like how are you going to already assume that
Right. That's right.
and the
That's
Bills
You
is
make
going
the
to be playing
plans,
in
right? That's
the
right.
AFC Championship, so we're just going to play that in Atlanta, which don't
Right.
make any sense at all. Because just say the Chiefs win, the Bills win, the Chiefs is the number 1 seed, so the playoffs go through Kansas City. So why should they have to play
The detour in Atlanta, right?
In a neutral site? That
In
makes
an NFC city. What happened to is
Yeah.
no other AFC place was available?
Yeah, like that right there, it doesn't make sense to me at all. The NFL definitely dropped the ball with that. So I see why the Bengals feel like they have a chip on their shoulder. And they are the defending AFC champion.
What else you want?
Crazy.
That's right.
They are the defending AFC champion, and they, you totally disrespect them in that way. So with me saying all of that, it's going to be a really tough role for the Bengals, because the Bengals are missing 3 starting offensive linemen.
Mm-hmm.
So now Joe Burrow is back in the same position that
He was
he
in
had
Tennessee last
been
year.
last year, the year before that, when
Yep.
my man's getting sacked 9 times in
9
playoff
times.
games,
Yep.
7 times, 8 times in the Super Bowl. Like it's crazy. It's like he came back from injury and played lights out, took you to the Super Bowl. And you think that, you know, you made these changes in the offseason to bring in these offensive linemen, and next thing you know, they all fell down like dominoes, like one after another. And um is that right there is going to make it extremely tough for the Bengals to overcome this Buffalo Bills defensive front. Because as much as I praise the Eagles front, the Bills front is nothing to play with also. Even without Von Miller. You know, I feel like they got even more aggressive without Von Miller. Um, and for them to go into, you know, Buffalo with this offensive line, it's Joe gonna be running. He's gonna be running for his life. They're gonna have to have extra protection. They're gonna have to have a bunch of, you know, keeping Joe Mixon back there to pick up blitzes. You know, so that's gonna take him away from the offense. Um, you're gonna have to, you know, have big sets. It's gonna be interesting. And like I said, Buffalo they'll be playing with a lot of passion, um, a lot of emotion, being back home, playing the team that they played where DeMar got injured. But I mean, would I be surprised if the Bengals go in there and beat them? No, not at all. Because as we saw last week against the Dolphins, um, Buffalo is beatable. You had a third string quarterback on there and put up 31 points
Mm-hmm.
in your house,
Mm-hmm.
you know, in your house. And it was looking really shaky. You guys won by a field goal. It could have went either way. So, can the Bengals beat them? Yes. Will they? I don't know. I'm rocking with the Bills. I'm picking the Bills strictly because of their offensive line. I can't trust the Bengals offensive line. I don't trust that they're gonna give Joe Burrow enough time to attack that secondary of the Bills. I don't think you have enough time to get the ball to Jamar Chase and T Higgins. Um and if he does, it's gonna be like short routes because I feel like it's gonna be like 1, 2, 3 ball out the hand. You
Mm-hmm.
know, snap ball, snap out. You know, I feel like it's gonna be a lot of quick throws. Um, and when I look at the Bengals defense, it's not terrible, but something about this Stephon Diggs guy, you know. Just like how much I like Jamar Chase, Stephon Diggs has been special since he was in Minnesota. Like this guy catches just about anything you throw at him. And hopefully this will be the season that they get over the hump and make, you know, this AFC championship game. And we may have a game in Atlanta. Who knows? But how you feel about this game?
Um, I think that again, one team you got, Cincinnati. They've won, 9 straight franchise record. Then you got the Buffalo Bills. They've won 8 straight. Um, and so somebody's O's got to go. And no matter how long it takes to get there, I think that this is going to be a back and forth, crazy game. You could toss a coin up, and whatever you decide to pick, it's going to be the right pick every time. But for me, in this circumstance, I think that the offensive line of Cincinnati, when it was decent, they gave up 8 sacks, they gave up 9 sacks. Now they're coming into the situation in the words of that great philosopher Dave Chappelle, bombed out and depleted.
Yeah.
So again, what you think that Von Miller and Olivers and those guys are gonna do You know what I mean? And again, Poirier and those guys in the secondary, they might dial up some blitz action and try to, burrow
Right?
Joe Burrow. You know what I mean? So again, I think that this game is gonna have to actually be a statement game. Either way, Buffalo's gonna make a statement and be like, "Well, we told you," or Cincinnati's gonna make a statement like, "We told you, we going back."
Yeah. Yeah.
So this game is however you wanna perceive it and look at it. Me myself, I'm taking Buffalo again, but if Cincinnati wins, all right, okay. But I'm
Yeah,
taking
I wouldn't
Buffalo.
be surprised. Yeah, I
Right,
wouldn't be
absolutely.
surprised.
I'm taking Buffalo on the straight that what happened at home last week against an inferior. No disrespect, Salik, my man, my big homie Daryl, big Miami Dolphins fans. VVS verbal, no disrespect, homies, but Buffalo is playing an inferior team at home with a third string quarterback and almost got away with it.
Almost.
So I
Yeah.
think Buffalo is feeling some kind of way. Definitely the opposition and has definitely stepped up in the Cincinnati Bengals. So I think it's on Buffalo now. Who's the pressure on, Yada, in this game?
Buffalo. Buffalo, because from week one, even before the season started, everybody said, "Oh, this is the year Buffalo is going to the Super Bowl. Buffalo, Buffalo, Buffalo. Josh Allen,
Buffalo,
MVP.
Buffalo.
Josh Allen, Josh Allen." They were just throwing it as Buffalo, 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 Buffalo. Josh Allen, Josh Allen, Josh Allen. This is the year. This is the year. So I feel like all the pressure is on Buffalo, and when you think about that, you're like, well, wow, you would figure it would be on the Bengals for them being the defending AFC champions. But when we look at this Bengals roster and we see that they are coming in here with a terrible offensive line, like this offensive line is, I feel like they got like maybe just one starter starting, maybe two. Everybody else is hurt.
Mhm.
That everybody is focused on like, well, Buffalo should run through these guys. This defense should be on him. So I feel like all the pressure is on Buffalo. Um, this Dallas game tomorrow, Dallas San
Yeah.
Francisco game. Um, it's going to be interesting because Dallas, is going into San Francisco and they're going to play a really good 49ers team. You know, with a really good defense. Um, and again, as we just talked about the Dolphins' third string quarterback, now we talking about the 49ers' third string quarterback, Mr.
Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah, last man picked in the draft. And now he's starting in his second NFC playoff game. And when we look at Brock, it's like, well, was it a fluke? Was it because they was playing the Seahawks? Was it because of the lesser competition? And we can say the same thing about the Cowboys because when you look at the Cowboys' victory last week, it was like, well, was it because it was lesser competition? And now they're going. Listen, I'm just telling you like it is. Was it because it was lesser competition and they wasn't, playing, you know, the Tampa Bay of the past. They're playing the Tampa Bay Bucks of the present, and presently they are not a very good team. Now they go into San Francisco to play a really good 49ers team that has a lot of explosiveness on the offensive side and the defensive side. And then we look at the Cowboys, the story of the Cowboys this season has been, their defense. Everybody talks about how great their defense is and all of that. And we have seen at times where their defense didn't look top notch,
Hmm.
you know. And we also have been talking about the play of Dak Prescott, these last couple of months. He he missed 5 games, but yet he lead the league in interceptions. You miss 5 games. He's throwing picks left and right. Um, I don't know. Is it because if the pressure is on him? Does he feel the pressure of trying to win multiple playoff games? He already won one, so he's doing a lot better than quarterbacks in the past. You know, he won one playoff game, so he can put that in Tony Romo's face.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, and then also when you think of the Cowboys, you think of the coach. We have old school versus new school. Mike McCarthy and versus Kyle. So it's like
Mhm.
old school versus new school. Who's going to get out coached? Especially on the defensive side of the ball, where the Cowboys are going against their offense, and also same thing with the 49ers on their side going against the Dallas offense. So it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be close. And I'm going to pick the 49ers because, as I already stated, I will never pick the Dallas Cowboys to win anything. A food fight, a spelling bee contest, a foot race, a game against my high school football team, a
Damn.
game against a pee wee football team,
The game
a
against
game
nobody.
against a game against.
Oh, shit.
I will never pick them to win, but
Wow.
I will pick the 49ers to win, but in a close game, and hopefully a competitive game. What about
Absolutely. They're meeting for the second straight year in the playoffs. I
you?
the 49ers did them in last year.
Hopefully,
Um
Dak read the rule books that the refs gotta touch the
hopefully,
ball.
hopefully he read the rule books. Absolutely. He did his homework. Did the hope that they put that in his contract like Kyler Murray, you know what I mean, to do your homework and
Read,
study.
yeah.
Um the Cowboys kicker. This dude better have a rabbit's foot, old Andrew Luck helmet, 18 boxes of Lucky Charms, because this dude needs some help. Because I hate for it to come down to a game-winning field goal or extra point, and I believe there will be I believe it will be a murder for real on the field. If he's
Oh,
kicking
Jerry Jones will kill
a
him.
29-yard field goal to win the game, and he shanks it, like I think that's going to be
Wide left. Oh,
wide left. That's going to be
no.
a factor in this game. Christian McCaffrey, see what he does. I think the situation with who's my man on the Cowboys defense that hurt his knee. What's his name? Was it Jalen Smith? Maybe the guy on the Cowboys hurt his knee against Tampa Bay last week.
Yeah.
Jaron
Javon Curse.
Curse. So
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to be important. I think again, you can never leave out George Kittle, Deebo Samuel. You know what I mean? Brandon Ayuk. All those guys bring that to the table. But then on the Cowboys side, CeeDee Lamb. You know what I mean? The running game, Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Adapt to a certain degree. So again, offensively and defensively, this is a matchup that we want to see in the trenches. We want to see the battle. Hopefully, it doesn't come down to special teams. We don't want to see that. Hopefully, it's close. The last 5 minutes, I think, is going to decide this game. And I like the 49ers. I mean, again, their situation is, they didn't lose a step. Jimmy G had them in the Super Bowl. Okay. Jimmy G got hurt. Okay. You know what I mean? They went out and did what they did. All right. But then they ended up, they went from, number one with Trey to Mr. Irrelevant. with the Brock Purdy kid, and then lose a step. Defensively, that 49ers team is, you got Bosa, you know what I mean? The kid, Fred Warner. Absolutely. The kid in the secondary that made the All-Pro team, right? From the 49ers. So, again, this is going to be a good game. Expect nothing less out of a 49ers Cowboys matchup. Come down to the wire. Anything can happen, from Dwight Clark making a great catch to Dak Prescott not knowing the rules to anything can happen. You know what I'm saying? So again, we're looking forward to a great weekend of football that's about to pop off in about 30, 45 minutes here. And we rock out with y'all, man. We talk about all 4 games. Now we just go, just wild out. My Yankees, I'm disappointed in the fact that we went and got this dude, Frankie Montas, and he's going to be missed the first month of the season. I'm thinking that, we're going to have to do something on one of those guys. Going to have to really step up, one of the guys that we had, on Smash in the rotation, because we couldn't count on Montas. But then we went and got Carlos Rodon. So I think that somebody knew something, so he's going to have to step up in a major way. I'm liking how, we're less than, 100 days away from opening day. I like what I see. I'm not jumping out the window this year. I'm telling you right now, I'm not jumping out the window this year, because I think especially the American League East is going to be really, really tough. The teams that used to be garbage are going to be really, really good because they're young and they're hungry, right? The Boston Red Sox, I think, real quick right now, are probably the worst team in that division. You know what I mean? So, Baltimore definitely, they're not a pushover anymore. Toronto, they got to figure it out. You know what I mean? Because those young kids are not, next year they won't be young anymore. The Bichettes, the Guerreros, you know what I mean? They traded away Lourdes Gurriel Jr. They traded him away. You know what I mean? So we're going to see what happens as far as the American League East is concerned. The Central, the Guardians, the White Sox, whatever. Aroldis Chapman went to the Kansas City Royals so he could blow 4 more saves for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I seen that. That was like, wow.
Get a 1-year deal. You know what I mean? And I mean, life comes at you fast. He went from giving up home runs in the American League Championship Series to now, giving up home runs in Kauffman Stadium with sky blue uniforms on. I'm sorry.
That was your man. That's your man.
That was the homie. My man.
That's your man. Don't try to.
Aroldis Chapman was giving me whiplash.
Don't deny him now. He was giving everybody whiplash.
Like, you know what I mean? Damn. But, I think that it's going to be interesting to watch and see which team that Carlos Correa plays for this year. I'm sorry.
So many of them.
And the Twins, speaking of the Twins, like when I saw that they traded Arias to the Marlins, the first person I thought of was Rod Carew. Because, they traded Rod Carew, won the batting title, and then he got traded to Angels.
So it's like if you win a batting title, you out of here.
Yeah, if you win the batting title with Minnesota, you better as well have Uber or Lyft on deck, because I said it, how Eddie Murphy said it in life, on deck, right?
Well, hopefully Carlos don't win the batting title, because he might be out next, huh?
Man, listen, I think they are hoping for him to they hope he do win the batting title.
Please win that batting title to get him out of here.
Because, listen, I've never seen. It's a lot of stuff that now you can just say I've never seen, and I've been watching this for a long time, man. And I never seen that. Dude was on. I'll say the closest I've seen to it. And help me out if you're watching the show. If you're rocking with us, help me out. This is for my old heads. Joel Youngblood. He played one game in the daytime for the Mets, and he played the same night for the Phillies. So that's the closest I ever see. He got traded. He was playing on one team at 1 o'clock, and at 8 o'clock he was playing for a whole totally different team. That's crazy.
That's crazy. I
So
never heard
and
nothing
it's
like
it's
that.
true. It's true. Real estate. It's true. It's true. Real estate. So but Carlos Correa got him beat. Carlos Correa was playing
Three. My man was on 3 teams. He had 3 different contracts. Like
three different
it was
contracts,
crazy.
3 different press conferences,
Three
three
different
different
jerseys.
uniforms. Like, how you do that?
Yeah, that was weird.
Like, yeah, and again, it's funny things happen in this sports world, man. Today, man, where like it'd be, years ago it would have been laughed at or not even considered. You know what I'm saying? But it always comes back to where we are right now, the biggest, best, football weekend of the year. Divisional playoff round. We got 2 games today. Not too happy about these 4 o'clock starts, and tomorrow the game don't start till 3.
It's like I don't get it. It's like give me some football early. Like, yeah, football at night is cool. Yeah, it's nice,
Uh-huh.
but when it's only 2 games, like, come on, give me that 1 and 4. Give me
Right.
that 1 and 4.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
and so
that's
they just getting you prepared for that at 10 o'clock start the Super Bowl in a few years. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like they do as much ado about nothing. But again, I don't want to bring up that thing that that it's always the elephant in the room that we talk about. We haven't talked about it in a while. The cash rules everything around me, right? So
Oh,
they
bro.
want to get the most eyes, and they want to get everything. They want to get the second game in prime time, right? So
Yeah.
again, we get it, but that takes away from us as sports fans. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
yes, yes.
All year long, you've been giving us games at 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, all year long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now you're trying to wean us off the 1 and 4 starts and slide these 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock starts in. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
I get it.
again,
People
it's tough
they've been out there tailgating since 8 o'clock this morning, right?
out there getting it in.
Getting it in
They
like
still
Gunga
got
did.
four
You know what I'm
hours.
saying?
They still got 4 hours to
Absolutely.
go. But
Absolutely.
speaking of cash,
Uh-huh.
uh, what's up with this story about this kid who
Oh
lost
yeah. The
a $13
quarterback,
million
right?
NIL deal? Yeah, Jalen Washada.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was he was
What
gonna
happened
play
was
for
they
Florida.
had some kind of in Florida. At Florida, they had some kind of like consortium. They put the money together. You know what I mean? So they can have this kid under this $13 million NIL deal, and the consortium fell apart. And since the consortium fell apart, he's like, okay, I'm out of here. So
So
it's
he gonna
basically as
leave.
simple as that.
So he's leaving Florida, huh?
Yep.
Cause
He wanted to get away from his from under the letter of intent. Because
yeah, cause
he was under the impression that he was supposed to get $13 million from this group. They put together this money for him for his deal, and since that fell apart, well, cuz you know, and to me that speaks a lot about these NIL situations. Like, okay, this one happened to fall apart before the season jumps off. What if
yeah,
we're in week 10 and you got a whatever X amount NIL deal and you don't do nothing? I mean, you play, but you don't do nothing. You
he's
went
not
from
jumping off the screen.
1,100 yards, being projected to have 1,100 yards rushing to like 500, 600 yards. So what do they do with your NIL then?
Yeah, like that's that's crazy. That's a big deal too. Like that's a
Yeah,
lot of
absolutely.
money. That's a
Yeah. So
lot of money.
now this kid is just out there floating in the wind.
Yeah, they said that he got offers from Cal, Penn State, Arizona
Mm-hmm. I
State,
bet he did.
Auburn.
I bet he do.
So it's like I wonder where he gonna go.
Yep.
Mm. Mm.
and other people are watching this. You know what I'm saying? So you offering all of this, and the kid is really about the bread. It's not really about where you're going to get your education at.
Yeah, because that's what it seems like. Because like they said, at first he picked Miami, and but then he flipped and went to Florida to the Gators. But then his deal went away, and now it's just like, so now it's
Yeah,
like, well, he's not gonna commit to a school until he get an NIL deal.
there you go.
That's crazy.
There you go. That's the bottom line.
Wow.
Um, Coach Prime uh,
Yes.
made another recruiting coup. Now I think he's going to have one of the corners. His corner situation is going to
Oh,
be
it's crazy.
crazy.
Oh, he's gonna have the
I
best
want to
two
see
corners.
I want to see what Caleb Williams going to do against that on September 30th.
Listen, when I'm looking at this schedule,
Uh huh.
I'm like, I said, Coach Prime, you're not in SWAC no more, homie.
Yeah.
You're not in
It's about to
SWAC,
get real.
and it's like he start out with TCU.
Mm.
First game of the season,
And
TCU.
TCU mad too. What?
And it's at TCU.
Mm.
Then you got Nebraska at home, Colorado State at home. Then you go to Oregon. And then the matchup of all matchups is that, USC, September 30th. That's going, you got Lincoln Riley versus Coach Prime. That's a big matchup
Mhm.
right there.
Yep.
Then you have
And,
Arizona State.
and you see what they did. You see what Colorado did in that secondary, right? They picked up the kid that flipped that was supposed to go to Miami, I think, and
Yeah.
he flipped and went to Colorado. So they got the kid from that followed him from Jackson State, Hunter,
Yeah, Travis
at one
Hunter.
corner, and then he got this other kid that he just flipped at the other corner. So I want to
Yeah.
see what Caleb Williams. I mean, again, it's setting up to be something really, good. And I think Dion, I think they're going to be ready. You know what I mean?
Um,
I don't know if they're going to beat TCU, but those next couple of
yeah,
games, I
yeah,
see them hanging around. I mean,
yeah.
they're going to have the roster for it, the team for it.
No, they definitely are. It's gonna be a tough road, and it's gonna be I can't wait to see Coach Prime coaching at this level against
Mm-hmm.
these teams, and to see where I want to see where his son, stack up, quarterback wise against these teams too,
I'm hearing
because
Heisman whisper,
because he was balling in Jackson State, but now you're in a Power Five conference now, so you playing against defenses and against top notch, defenses now.
Right.
You got people who's pro ready on the other side coming at you. So I definitely want to
Mm-hmm.
see how that go. Uh, if Coach Prime can be bowl eligible this season, that's a
Mm-hmm.
win. That's a win.
And that's what 6 wins. That's six, right?
6 wins to be bowl eligible.
You see 6 wins on the schedule.
Let
Rossi
me get the
crazy.
schedule again. Six, like I said, it's gonna be tough.
Let me look at the schedule again.
I mean, all right. I don't see them beating TCU.
No,
I
and that's
don't see
that's definitely that's gonna probably be a 15, 20 point spread.
second game
At least
Nebraska.
10. That Hey, that's at home, right? That's at
That's at
Boulder?
home. That's at home.
Okay.
Third game Colorado State.
The Colorado State's not a slouch team.
Not a slouch. Maybe I don't know. Oregon. Then we at Oregon. I don't know.
Yo, hold me down. I got something I got to do. Hold me down. I'll be right back. All right. Down in
Uh,
Sports Talk.
oh man. He said 6 wins. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about six. That's gonna be real tough. Maybe Arizona State. Then they got Stanford. Then they got Bye. They got UCLA. I don't know. The Pac-12 is tough. I don't care. Like it may not be the toughest conference, but the Pac-12 ain't no slouch neither. So bowl eligible, 6 games. I don't know. Oregon State, Arizona, Washington State, Utah. That's gonna be this is gonna be a tough journey for the first season. I don't know. They may not be bowl eligible. We may have to rethink that. We may have to set another set of standards for Coach Prime. They won what, 1 game last year? They won 4 games. Would that be a victory? I mean, it would be double. I don't know. I don't know. Dad, coach. I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say they can get 6. I'm gonna throw it out there. I'm gonna say they can get 6. I'm gonna say they beat Oregon State. I'm gonna say they beat Colorado State. Uh, maybe
Yeah.
Washington State. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out these 6 wins. I don't know.
That's still trying to.
Yeah, I was telling her. I said I don't know. Maybe 4.
Woo, 4 wins. That's it. The first season.
I mean, look, they won one. I mean, they won 1 game last year.
Yeah.
So if you get 4, maybe 5, 6
Yeah,
is
I mean,
tough.
but like you said, that schedule is going to be crazy. But I think that if they don't get their heads down, if they could have one win by the USC game,
Yeah, that's what I was looking
they
at.
can
I'm
get
like,
one of those by the USC game.
yeah, that
You
one
know,
win, that one win, maybe Colorado State, maybe.
Ooh, Lord, I had to. Y'all, excuse me. I had to get scarce for a second, but woo, Lord, we holler after the show how we do after the show, but yeah, woo, Lord, but yeah, it's gonna be hard to figure that out, and I hope that again, Dion's bringing a definitely different perspective. He's not for no nonsense.
Yeah,
So again, hopefully that these kids get it, and the Colorado program definitely deserves to be brought back into the national spotlight because Colorado was the truth once upon a time.
yeah.
Do your homework, do your history. Colorado was definitely in the conversation
Hmm.
again. So hopefully Dion can bring that back to prominence. I'm not going to say dominance because the Pac-12 or Pac-10 or whatever they're calling it today is going to
It's
be
still
what it is.
Pac-12
And again with USC and UCLA leaving, what is that, 2024? They're leaving the conference.
next year.
So yeah, so I think that this is going to be a perfect launching pad, so to speak, for Colorado football and for Deion Sanders. Like you said, he's definitely got to step up his strategy game. You know what I mean? Because like you said, the SWAC is not that the Power Five. He's going up every week. He's going up against a team that would give Jackson State the business. No disrespect to them, but it is what it is.
Hmm.
So again, he's bringing his guys with him. Like you said in his opening, conference, he was like, "Yo, I'm bringing my Louis gear with me." You know what I mean? So his expectations are high. So I think that that mentality is gonna be different in Colorado. We're expecting them to be bowl eligible. I don't see why not.
I mean, it
It's
can
gonna be
happen.
hard.
It's going to
It
be
could
it's going to be
happen.
extremely hard, but it can happen. Um,
Absolutely.
I would
Absolutely.
have to see. I would have to see him play. I got to see him play. He's going to be under a microscope this season.
Yeah. Though that spring game is going to be crazy.
Yeah, they're
That
gonna.
spring game, yeah, that spring game is going to be is going to be ESPN and everybody else going to be
Everybody's
at
gonna be.
you
It's
know
gonna be
on
like
that one.
it's a bowl game.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
Um,
that's gonna show a lot.
we're
Yeah,
a few minutes from kickoff. We rocked out with y'all. You know what I mean? We did that. You know what I mean? That's my partner over there. Y'all the bear in the building. The
yeah,
Eagles get ready to pregame and all that. We in the building every Tuesday night. You know what I mean? 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. We usually go overtime because we be doing what we do.
yeah,
Salute to everybody, man, that rocks out with us, man. We're gonna get more into like college basketball. If you see, we put the top 10 for men's and women's. We didn't forget the ladies.
hmm
Oh, we can't get out of here without talking about the WNBA. I
Oh,
mean, well, free agency starts today, right? Saturday, right? Today,
yes,
free agency
yep,
starts,
today.
right? So again, we're talking about your Candace Parkers, your Courtney Vandersloot's, you know what I mean? Those people. The Breonna Stewart's. It's gonna be interesting to see where she lands.
Yeah,
Absolutely, this season is gonna be really, really. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to this particular WNBA season, not just because of the Brittany Griner situation. They extended the season to 40 games.
hmm
The free agency thing is going to be a big factor. Seeing these players in different environments, or in Candace Parker's case, maybe going back home. Maybe she said she wanted to play. Maybe go to LA and do it again for the Sparks, or the Chicago thing or whatever. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do. And I'm curious to see what this New York Liberty team is going to look like now that we have some firepower. You know what I mean?
I'm
John Carl Jones and Sabrina.
yeah.
Somebody's thinking of a fly name for them now, but I don't think they're finished yet. I think they're going to add another piece. You know what I
Listen,
mean? Mm-hmm.
you can never you won't ever know because there's a lot of names out there, and I think they're gonna add. Yeah, I think they're gonna add more because they try and get back to where they was at before when they had Rebecca Lobo and all them there, and they was out there balling up in New York. So they starting out good. Starting out good.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. We got some breaking news here. Wait a minute.
Uh
Or,
oh.
or am I late? The Atlanta Dream have received Alicia Gray. All right.
Oh, from Dallas.
Yeah. So that's what's going on here. It's
That's the
it's it's
latest.
it's moving and popping. I'm trying to keep up with this. The Wings received the 2023 number 3 overall and the Dreams 2025 first round pick. So again, Dallas, they still have some decisions to make with some of their players and stuff like that. So again, we on it. We on it over here, y'all. You know what I mean? So if you're interested in WNBA, my partner in crime over there is definitely, on a mission to get a WNBA team in Philly. All right.
Yes,
And we
yes.
here for that. So that's what it is. So man, we in the building Tuesday nights, 8 to 10, 8 to 10, 8 to 9. You know what I mean? And listen, we end the show a lot closer to 10 than 9 anyway. So it is
Yeah,
what it
we
is.
do.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So rock out with us. Salute to everybody that rocks out with us, man. Too many people to mention, too many people to name. Salute to everybody that's subscribing. The subscribers are going up. We on
Yes.
YouTube, down in Sports Talk. We definitely appreciate it. We might try to get a little something in after the game tonight. You know what I mean? Because the Eagles win. I know somebody's gonna be in the mood to talk about it. So that's what it is. We're getting Javante Davis and Ryan Garcia on April 15th, huh?
Yeah. Look at that.
Yeah.
But I
Won't,
mean,
won't he do it?
look at that.
Won't he
that's
do it?
a good fight.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, now, the talk can officially, begin. We'll get into that definitely as we get closer to that. So again, we in the building, man. So rock out with us. Make it do what it do. RM Des on Twitter. All right, left-handed. That's the ubiquitous one over there. All right. Yada Bear in the house. And we're about to get up out of here. Don't go nowhere. We're about to get up out of here. We'll talk to y'all. Let y'all get settled. Get your little chicken wings and your mozzarella
snacks ready.
And your flowers and all that together. You know what I mean? And tonight is going down in Philly. All right, respect out there. Have some fun. You know what I mean? The over-under on fights is going to be 5. The over-under on fights in the crowd is going to be 5.
Sounds about right. Sounds about right, yeah.
Yo, that's it,
it may be a little bit over.
It might be a little over. I'll bet the over on that. You know what I'm saying? But we out of here, yo. Salute to everybody, man. We'll talk to y'all tonight for a few minutes after the game. All right?
Enjoy the games.
Don't go nowhere. Enjoy the games, like Yada said. And we're about to be up out of here. Respect.
Peace.
Down the end, y'all. Peace. Woo-ha.